Thank you. I have a question for Jim. I was struck, and I think I got this correctly, by your comment about the disconnect between multifamily supply and demand and how that was being driven more by capital markets in the past. Now, could you comment a little bit about Joan's observation earlier that going forward, the real estate industry is going to have to be more sensitive to markets and demand, and whether you see that kind of dynamic in the multifamily sector maybe shifting or not?
Okay, let me make sure I caught this question correctly, but I see this, for the economists in the room, I see this as basically the classic Cobb effect. Basically, there's always an overshooting when the market is strong, and you've got the overhang when it comes down, and then there's always the collapse that overshoots on the downside as well too, and you just see that classic cycle going on over and over again. But I guess one of the main points of that message is that by the time capital markets open up for specific classes of real estate, I mean, here's one way I look at it. What I tell my clients are disregard everything I've said in a public presentation, because what's obvious is guaranteed to get overbuilt. You got to start taking a look at the pockets where the demand curves will still beat the supply curves, and that tends to be in the niches. But I think that's where the smart developers are going, is trying to really start to think through, okay, now that we understand there's been this disconnect, now that we understand that demand patterns will change in the future, let's think about how we can do this. Let's think about how we can size this up smarter before we commit the capital, versus following everyone else, which has been, what got us into a lot of this mess in the first place.
I think we have time for one more in the red.
And you've also talked about changing the product more in terms of size to respond to the changes in the demographics. But what about integral changes in the nature of the product and having more of an integration of technology and the product? For example, I know in the Age Lab you've talked about incorporating technology to be able to sense the health of the individual. I don't know if there are things that you could incorporate into a permanent solution for retailers who can respond to the customers who are coming to their stores or no stores. So I'm just wondering, are there some fundamental changes to the nature of the product that can provide a vision for something different?
What you are about to see in the very near term is a fundamental integration of physiological data. We can watch consumers do what they do either in their home or in retail. But what you're about to see now are what we were calling in the lab high-performance environments. So whether it's the workspace, retail space, and indeed, especially in the home and long-term care settings, rooms, chairs, fixtures, if you will, that are able to sense your stress, your fatigue, whether you're paying attention or not, and to be able to prompt you, be able to manage, monitor, and motivate health and well-being behaviors. And you're going to see that very soon. In fact, you're going to see it in the car in the next 5 years. That's where we started first. So one of the things you're going to be seeing is the technology and service is going to be really baked into the construction of environments overall. And then the big job will also be, how do I get that stuff integrated into the house that I already own?
Great. Well, no, I think we've got to move on to the next panel. So I'd just like to lead a round of applause for our panelists here. Appreciate everyone's attendance and questions, and it's been an honor to moderate this. Thank you.